The truth is a beautiful and terrible thing, and should therefore be treated with great caution. Welcome to Artificially Literate. This is the space where we get into books, films, big ideas, basically anything that sparks curiosity. We love breaking down stories, looking at them from different angles, philosophical, literal, you name it, hoping to give you, well, maybe a fresh perspective. Today, we are diving deep, really deep, into a corner of the wizarding world that honestly felt both familiar and completely new. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Parts 1 and 2.
It's definitely more than just a nostalgia trip, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a story that tackles legacy,
Mm-hmm.
what it means to be the child of a hero, and friendship, obviously, but also, crucially, the danger, the real lure of trying to change the past.
That quote you started with really nails it. Truth, time.
Mm,
They're fragile things in the story.
exactly. So our mission today is to kind of unpack all of that. We'll look at the main events, some key quotes that really stand out, and how the characters, especially the new generation, evolve.
And we absolutely have to talk about the format, right? Because it's a play script. Reading it is one thing.
Seeing it live is another beast entirely. Yeah,
Mm.
we want to explore that difference, what happens on the page versus the stage, and maybe what gets transformed or even missed in that translation. So where do we even begin with this beast?
Well, I think you have to start right where the original story left off. That epilogue in Deathly Hallows, King's Cross.
19 years later.
Exactly. The creative team Rowling, John Tiffany, Jack Thorne, they were very clear about that. Tiffany, the director, basically said they knew scene 1 had to be the end of book 7. It just felt natural.
It gives you that immediate sense of connection, but also unease. Like the war is over, but the anxieties aren't.
Precisely. It sets up that core theme right away. Inherited legacy. The pressure on these kids, especially Albus Potter, growing up in the shadow of, well, Harry Potter.
And that pressure is palpable right from platform 9 3/4, isn't it? We see Harry, Ginny, Ron, Hermione, even Draco seeing their kids off. It feels warm, familiar for a second.
Yeah, like coming home.
But then, bam. Albus's anxiety. He's terrified of being sorted into Slytherin. His brother James is teasing him mercilessly about it.
Standard older brother stuff, but it cuts deep for Albus.
It really does. And Harry tries to reassure him, gives him that amazing line, Albus Severus, you are named after 2 headmasters of Hogwarts. One of them was a Slytherin, and he was probably the bravest man I ever knew.
Such a powerful moment, referencing Snape, acknowledging that complexity.
But it doesn't really land, does it? Because guess what? Albus is sorted into Slytherin. Right away, he's marked as different. Different from his dad, different from the expectation.
And that sorting, it's symbolic, isn't it? It's destiny, maybe, pushing him onto his own path. Thorne, the playwright, talked about exploring where Harry was now and the scars that accompany him. Those scars aren't just Harry's anymore. They're sort of inherited by Albus.
Yeah, that makes sense. The fear of Slytherin isn't just about the house reputation. It's about not living up to the Gryffindor hero image. Or worse, becoming something his father fought against.
Exactly. It's about identity. How do you forge your own when your dad is, well, Harry Potter? The sorting is him starting to carve that out, whether he means to or not.
And then almost immediately, on the Hogwarts Express, he finds someone else who gets it.
Scorpius Malfoy.
Right. While his cousin Rose, who's maybe a bit too much like Hermione, sometimes it's telling him, everyone will want to be friends with us. We've got the pick of anyone we want.
Which is kind of arrogant, let's be honest.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But Albus isn't interested in that. He sees Scorpius, who's alone, and dealing with those awful rumors about being Voldemort's son.
And Scorpius is surprisingly upfront about it. He just lays it out there.
He does. And that line, I'd rather be a Malfoy than, the son of the Dark Lord. It's funny, but also so revealing. It shows his vulnerability, his awareness.
It immediately makes him relatable, and it cements their bond. 2 boys, both outsiders in their own way, despite having the most famous surnames in the wizarding world.
It's such a contrast to Harry and Draco's history.
Oh, massively. Thorne mentioned that Rowling putting Draco's son and Harry's son in the same year meant they were destined to meet. It forces that exploration of legacy, not just for the Potters, but the Malfoys, too.
And Thorne also talked about wanting to write about friendship, right?
Yeah.
That intense childhood bond.
Yeah, he said, when you're best friends as kids, it's a stronger relationship than you'll ever have with anyone. And you feel that with Albus and Scorpius. Their shared struggle against expectation, against their father's history, it makes their connection immediate and deep.
It really does. But that friendship, while vital for them, doesn't exactly help Albus's relationship with Harry.
No, that just seems to go downhill fast. Albus struggles at Hogwarts, can't fly a broom properly, not great at spells, unpopular.
He's basically the opposite of Harry's Hogwarts experience.
Yeah.
And he's defiant.
Yeah. And Harry, bless him, tries to connect. He gives Albus his old baby blanket, the only thing he had left from Lily.
Which is huge. Such a meaningful gesture.
But Albus just throws it back in his face.
No, I just wish you weren't my dad. It's brutal. And Harry snaps back. Well, there are times I wish you weren't my son.
Mm-mm.
Oof. You just feel the pain on both sides. It's broken.
Utterly broken. And into that mess walks Amos Diggory.
Still grieving Cedric after all these years.
Desperately grieving. He comes to Harry, begs him to use a time turner to save Cedric. And it turns out Harry's department at the ministry has just confiscated an illegal one.
Talk about timing. But Harry refuses. He says, Amos, playing with time. You know we can't do that. Ministry policy. Too dangerous.
And it is dangerous. We know that from the original books. But Harry's refusal isn't just about policy, is it? It's personal. The creative team talked about that Cedric's death was.
The first one Harry felt responsible for.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Even indirectly. He brought Cedric back. That image of Amos grieving over Cedric's body. Tiffany called it heart-wrenching. So for Harry, messing with that moment is unthinkable. It's tied to his own trauma.
But Albus doesn't see that. He just hears his dad refusing to help, refusing to right a wrong. He hears kill the spare in his head about Cedric.
And he sees his father's refusal as indifference, a big mistake. He gets it into his head that he needs to fix it. He needs to be the hero his father isn't being in this instance.
And that's where Delphi comes in.
Delphi, Amos Diggory's supposed niece, full of sympathy, encouragement.
And conveniently knowing exactly what buttons to push with Albus, she presents herself as this ally, someone who understands his frustration.
Yeah, and she helps him fuel that conviction. Suddenly, saving Cedric isn't just an idea, it's a mission.
A mission Albus drags Scorpius into. With Delphi's help, they steal the time turner, their plan. Go back to the first task of the Triwizard Tournament.
Simple plan, right?
Deceptively simple. Just disarm Cedric with an Expelliarmus, humiliate him a bit, make sure he doesn't win the task, doesn't win the tournament, doesn't end up at the graveyard with Voldemort.
Albus says it so confidently. A mistake has been made and we're going to right it. We're going to use a time turner. We're going to bring him back.
So much certainty, so much naivety.
Completely naive. They're excited, determined, but they have no real grasp of the consequences. They're breaking Professor Croker's law about only going back 5 hours safely. They're going back years.
It's like they think they can just tweak one little thread without unraveling the whole tapestry.
Exactly. And that hubris, that belief that they can control time and fix the past, well, it's about to blow up in their faces spectacularly.
And that feels like the perfect, ominous place to pause part one.
Yeah.
The best intentions paving a very dangerous road. My father lied to you. I know he did. They do have a time turner. A mistake has been made, and we're going to right it. We're going to use a time turner. We're going to bring him back.
Joe.
Welcome back to Artificially Literate. We're continuing our deep dive into the tangled timelines of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Mm-hmm.
And just a quick reminder before we plunge back into the temporal chaos, if you're finding this exploration interesting, please do consider following us or sharing the show. You can find Artificially Illiterate on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all the usual places. Your support really does help us keep doing these deep dives.
Absolutely. Every follow helps.
So we left Albus and Scorpius with Delphi pulling the strings, about to make their first jump back in time to save Cedric Diggory during the Triwizard Tournament's first task.
Right, and this is where Croker's Law really hits home. They go back, use Expelliarmus on Cedric during the Dragon task, a simple spell, and they think, job done. They only spend 5 minutes there, thanks to the time turner's limit.
But they went back years, way beyond the safe limit.
Way beyond. And when they return to their present, things are off. Subtly at first, but wrong.
Ron's appearance has changed slightly.
Side parting, different clothes, and he's married to Padma Patil.
Not Hermione.
Not Hermione. And Hermione, she's now Professor Granger, but
Right.
she's
What is it?
mean, unpopular, bitter, almost. She has no idea who Scorpius is talking about when he mentions Rose. She just asks, who's Rose, your invisible friend?
Chilling, because the change meant Ron and Hermione never got together.
Exactly. The script spells it out. Ron and Hermione stayed very good friends, but never fell in love, never got married, never had Rose.
Wow, so Rose Granger Weasley just blinked out of existence because Cedric got disarmed during a task.
That's the terrifying ripple effect. One seemingly small change in a whole person, a whole relationship central to the original story is erased. It shows just how interconnected everything is.
It's a brutal lesson. But do they learn it?
Not immediately, no. They're horrified, especially about Rose, but they think they can fix this mistake too. Delphi encourages them, naturally, so they go back again. Second task, the lake.
This time, the plan is even more humiliating for Cedric. Use an engorgement charm. Make his head swell up like a balloon so he has to surface.
Ensure he fails spectacularly. Can't possibly win the tournament now, right?
And this time, they add a little flourish. Fireworks spell out, Ron loves Hermione. They think, okay, we fixed the Ron-Hermione part, and we stopped Cedric. Double win.
If only it were that simple. This second attempt, it creates something far, far worse.
Oh, this is the really dark timeline, isn't it?
The darkest. Scorpius returns alone this time, and the world is unrecognizable. Voldemort won. It's Voldemort Day. Dolores Umbridge is headmistress of Hogwarts.
Umbridge. Of course it's Umbridge.
Naturally.
Yeah.
And she casually informs Scorpius that Harry Potter died over 20 years ago as part of that failed coup on the school.
No.
Yes. Dementors patrol the grounds. Students wear black robes, snake symbols everywhere. There are mentions of mudblood death camps. A student named Carl Jenkins boasts, "We're ready to spill some proper mudblood guts." It's horrific.
What about Draco in this reality?
He's head of magical law enforcement. Powerful, darker, definitely aligned with the regime. But he still clearly loves Scorpius. Protects him. He even has that grim line, the Malfoys, the family you can always rely on to make the world a murkier place.
Wow. So even in that darkness, that father-son bond persists. But Scorpius, he must be losing his mind.
He is. The guilt is crushing him. He realizes it's his fault, remembering he told Delphi prophecies could be broken. He feels utterly responsible for this nightmare world, and Albus isn't there. He's alone.
So what does he do?
He decides he has to fix it, alone, and he does something incredibly brave, incredibly risky. He seeks out Severus Snape.
Snape. But Snape would be, well, presumably still working for Voldemort in this timeline.
Yes, but Scorpius knows the truth about Snape from his own timeline. He knows about Lily. He knows Snape was Dumbledore's man.
Ah, the meta-knowledge.
Exactly. He confronts Snape, tells him you loved his mother. Harry Potter told his son you're a great man. Albus Severus Potter. He uses the name Harry gave his son.
That must hit Snape hard.
Yeah.
Hearing that in this dark world, his true loyalty, his sacrifice, was eventually known and honored.
It does. It convinces Snape to help. And we find out Snape is part of a tiny, hidden resistance, along with Ron and Hermione.
The versions from this timeline.
Yes. Darker, battle-scarred versions. They can barely believe Scorpius when he tells them about their normal future minister for magic, Weasley's wizard, Wheez's kids. It gives them a flicker of hope.
And Snape.
Snape makes the ultimate sacrifice. To help Scorpius escape with the Time Turner and reset the timeline, he draws the Dementors away. His final act is casting his Patronus the Silver Doe for Lily.
Oh, wow.
And he tells Scorpius, tell Albus Severus I'm proud he carries my name. Now go, go. Then the Dementors take him.
That's incredibly powerful. Even in that nightmare, Snape finds redemption again.
It's one of the most moving parts of the play, truly. It shows that core of goodness was always there, waiting for a reason to surface.
So Scorpius manages to undo the changes. He gets back to the right timeline.
He does. He prevents their interference in the second task, restoring history. But when he gets back, Albus is still missing, lost somewhere in the time jumps. Meanwhile, Harry, Ginny, Ron, Hermione, McGonagall, they're frantic. They figure out the boys have been time traveling.
The relief must be huge when Scorpius reappears, but the worry for Albus.
Exactly. And when Albus is finally found, the reunion isn't exactly warm and fuzzy. Harry, terrified by what's happened, and spooked by Bane the Centaur predicting a black cloud around Albus.
He forbids Albus from seeing Scorpius.
Yes. Tries to isolate him, thinking it's for his own good, which of course backfires massively.
Leading to that confrontation between Harry and Draco.
A full-on magical duel at Hogwarts, years of resentment boiling over, fueled by parental fear. Draco is grieving Astoria, Scorpius' mother, and he lashes out. I don't care what you did or who you saved, you are a constant curse on my family, Harry Potter.
Ouch. Ginny has to break it up, right?
She does.
Yeah.
But then something amazing happens. Draco, surprisingly, becomes the voice of reason.
How so?
His own grief, his own past loneliness, maybe seeing Scorpius' pain. It allows him to empathize with Harry. He warns Harry not to isolate Albus, referencing Voldemort. Tom Riddle was also a lonely child. Don't lose the boy, you'll regret it. And so will he.
Draco Malfoy giving Harry parenting advice based on Voldemort's childhood. Who would have thought?
It's a stunning moment of growth for Draco. He defends the boys' friendship, understanding its importance in a way Harry, blinded by fear, can't see at that moment.
And does Harry listen?
Eventually. McGonagall helps too, kind of, turning a blind eye to let the boys reconnect. And Scorpius gives this incredibly moving speech to Albus, just laying his heart out.
What does he say?
He says, "You're my best friend, Albus, and this is mayhem to the nth degree." And later admits, "I didn't much like my life without you in it either."
Simple but perfect.
Totally. It cuts through everything. Albus realizes just how much Scorpius means to him, how vital that connection is. Their friendship is reforged, stronger than ever, just in time for the real storm to hit.
Because the danger isn't over yet. Not by a long shot.
No. The worst is yet to come.
The world changes, and we change with it. I am better off in this world, but the world is not better, and I don't want that.
Welcome back to the final part of our artificially literate deep dive into Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Albus and Scorpius are reunited, their friendship affirmed, and they've finally learned their lesson about messing with time.
Yes, they realize the Time Turner is just too dangerous, their new plan. Destroy it. Get rid of the temptation altogether.
Sensible plan.
Yeah.
But they make one crucial mistake.
They trust Delphi. They bring her into the plan thinking she's still their ally, Amos Diggory's niece helping them right wrongs.
And this is where her true colors are revealed, in spectacular, terrifying fashion.
Absolutely. She reveals her tattoo, the wings of an augury, that ominous, magical bird, and then the truth comes out. She's not Amos's niece at all. He's been under a confundus charm. She is Delphi Diggory. No, Delphi Lestrange, the daughter of Lord Voldemort and Bellatrix Lestrange.
Voldemort had a child. With Bellatrix. Wow, okay.
It's a huge reveal. A secret heir hidden away, raised in secret by Death Eater loyalists like Euphemia Rowell. And she's not just interested in Cedric, she wants to fulfill a prophecy.
The prophecy she believes will bring her father back.
Exactly. When spares are spared, when time is turned, when unseen children murder their fathers, then will the Dark Lord return. She manipulated Albus and Scorpius, the unseen children, into turning time and sparing the spare Cedric. Now she needs to complete it.
Wow.
By traveling back much further. To 1981, Godric's Hollow, October 31st.
The night Voldemort attacked Harry's parents.
Yes, her goal is to stop Voldemort from attacking baby Harry, prevent his downfall, ensure he rises to power, and she can finally meet the father she's idolized.
And she's ruthless about it. Craig Bowker Jr., another student, stumbles upon them, tries to help.
And Delphi murders him, coldly, Avada Kedavra. She tells the boys, "Did you not understand? These are not childish games we are playing here. You are useful to me. Your friends are not. The mask is completely off. She's terrifying."
So now the stakes are reversed. It's not about fixing the past anymore.
It's about protecting it. Protecting the original timeline, even with all its tragedy. Harry and his friends now have to ensure Voldemort goes to Godric's Hollow, ensure he tries to kill baby Harry, ensure he creates his own downfall.
They have to make sure Harry's parents die.
It's a horrifying moral position to be in. But the alternative Delphi succeeding Voldemort ruling is unthinkable.
How do they even know where Delphi took the boys, or when?
Albus is clever. He manages to leave a message, transfigured into Harry's old baby blanket, which Harry had eventually persuaded Albus to keep.
The blanket again.
The blanket again. The message reads, "Dad, help, Godric's Hollow, 311081.
Harry must have been terrified.
Utterly. He has that incredibly vulnerable moment, admitting his fears. I thought Harry Potter wasn't afraid of anything. I'm scared of everything. I mean, I'm afraid of the dark. Did you know that? It strips away the legend. He's just a scared father.
And this crisis, this shared fear, finally mends things between him and Albus.
It really does. When they're eventually reunited after the final battle, Harry finally sees Albus for who he is. He confronts his own trauma, admitting, "The part of me that was Voldemort died a long time ago, but it wasn't enough to be physically rid of him. I had to be mentally rid of him." He tells Albus he's brave, accepts his Slytherin nature, compares him favorably to Ginny. "You're more like your mom, bold, fierce, funny," which I like. I think makes you a pretty great son.
That must have meant everything to Albus.
Oh, absolutely. It's the acceptance he craved. And this crisis also unites the parents. Harry, Ron, Hermione, Ginny, and Draco. They put everything aside.
Draco, too. Does he have another time turner?
He does, a better one, apparently. A Malfoy heirloom, not one of the unstable prototypes the Ministry had. It allows them to travel back to 1981 properly. They go back together, united to save their kids and save the timeline.
So the final showdown is in Godric's Hollow on that fateful night. How do they stop Delphi without altering anything else?
They come up with a risky plan. Lure Delphi out by having Harry transfigure himself into Voldemort.
Whoa. Harry has to become his own worst enemy.
Physically and mentally. The script describes it as deeply disturbing for him, bringing back all the old connections, the nightmares. But he does it.
And Delphi falls for it.
She does. She approaches Voldemort, pleading, wanting connection. It's almost pitiable, her delusion. Then Albus manages to intervene, creating a distraction.
Giving Harry the chance to fight back as himself.
Exactly. They overpower Delphi. And then comes another crucial moral choice. Albus asks if they should kill her.
After she killed Craig. Must
Oh.
be tempting.
Very. But Harry refuses. Yes, Albus, she's a murderer, and we're not. We have to be better than them. It's a defining moment, reaffirming their values even in the face of pure evil.
And then they have to watch.
They have to hide and watch Voldemort arrive, watch him kill James and Lily. Harry forces himself to witness it, knowing he can't interfere. I'm letting it happen. Of course I have to watch. It's agony, but necessary.
And then Hagrid arrives for baby Harry.
Full circle. The beginning of Harry's story, witnessed by the adult Harry. It's incredibly poignant.
So they capture Delphi, destroy all the time turners for good.
Yes. No more temporal meddling. The threat is contained, and there's a sense of healing afterwards. Albus and Harry visit Cedric's grave together. Harry admits he comes there sometimes, just to say sorry. It's a quiet acknowledgement of the cost of their peace.
And Scorpius.
Scorpius finds a new confidence. He even tries asking Rose out, doesn't quite go to plan, but the fact he tries shows how much he's grown.
It feels like a proper earned ending for their arcs. But now let's shift gears slightly, because we've been talking about the story, the script, but this thing lives on stage. How different is that experience?
Oh, it's hugely different. Jack Thorne called the script sheet music, meant to be sung by the production. Reading it gives you the words, the plot, the stage directions, but seeing it, that's where the magic literally happens.
So what kinds of things does the stage add that you just can't get from reading the script?
Well, first, the actors' performances. John Tiffany mentioned how actors could convey so much effortlessly with a look, meaning lines he'd written became unnecessary. There's a whole layer of subtext and emotion in the physical performance, the pauses, the expressions.
And the movement, right. I've heard the choreography is amazing.
Stephen Hoggett's movement direction is practically another character. You mentioned the ballet of suitcases earlier that visually creates the journey instantly. The way they use cloaks for transitions is incredible. Swirling fabric becomes a scene change, a passage of time, even an emotion.
I heard about the wand dance, too.
Yeah, that's a great example. It shows students struggling with magic, their frustration and awkwardness expressed physically through dance. It tells you more about their internal state than dialogue could. And the staircases.
The moving Hogwarts staircases.
They're not just set dressing. They move, they reconfigure. And Tiffany actually said they dropped dialogue in a scene where Albus and Scorpius argue among them because the movement of the stairs, physically separating the actors, conveyed the emotional distance better than any words could. The set itself tells the story.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then there are the illusions, the special effects.
Right. Jamie Harrison's illusions, Jeremy Chernick's effects, things the script just describes as magic happens. Seeing Patronuses on stage, characters flying, polyjuice transformations happen before your eyes. That's pure theatrical spectacle you can only experience live.
It sounds incredible. But you also mentioned productions change. The script we read isn't always exactly what's performed now.
Exactly. The original was 2 parts, very long. Later productions, like in New York, Hamburg, Tokyo, condensed it into one single, shorter play. That meant cutting a lot over an hour and a half of material.
What kind of things got cut?
Significant things, actually. All of Harry's dream sequences, seeing young Harry in the cupboard, the Dursleys, Hagrid, his parents' grave, those internal glimpses into his trauma were removed.
That seems like a big loss for his character arc.
It does shift the focus. Also, some scenes expanding on the dark world, like Scorpius talking to Polly Chapman or having more interaction with Draco there, were trimmed to speed up his solo journey. The location St. Oswald's was cut. Lily Potter Jr. became an offstage character. It streamlined things, but arguably lost some texture.
And any changes to the relationships?
This is a big one. The condensed version, and even updated 2-part versions, leaned much more heavily into suggesting a romantic relationship between Albus and Scorpius. Lines were added or emphasized, like Albus telling Harry that Scorpius is the most important person in his life, which wasn't explicitly in the original published script, and Rose was repositioned more as just a friend to Scorpius, rather than a potential love interest.
So the interpretation of their bond actually shifted in performance over time.
Definitely. It shows how a play script isn't static. It evolves. Different productions make different choices, emphasize different things, offering audiences different interpretations. Reading the original script gives you one version, seeing a current production might give you another, subtly or significantly different. It really highlights that theater is a living, breathing art form.
That's fascinating. It adds another layer to the whole idea of changing timelines and perspectives within the story itself. The story's own real-world existence changes over time.
Precisely. It's quite meta when you think about it.
It really is. And that feels like a good place to bring our reflection on this complex story to a close.
Agreed. It leaves you with a lot to think about.
The part of me that was Voldemort died a long time ago, but it wasn't enough to be physically rid of him. I had to be mentally rid of him. And that is a lot to learn for a 40-year-old man. What an incredible journey through Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It really pushes the boundaries, doesn't it? Challenges ideas about legacy, fate, choice.
Definitely. And it shows how trying to fix the past, even with the best intentions, can just break the present in horrifying ways.
And ultimately, it comes down to friendship, doesn't it? Albus and Scorpius, and family love Harry, learning to be a better father, Draco stepping up. That's what pulls them through.
Yeah, the strength isn't in changing time, it's in those human connections.
Yeah.
Facing mistakes, learning, forgiving, that's the real bravery here.
It's a powerful look at growing up, at parenting, even for someone who's already saved the world. And thinking about the script versus the stage adds that whole other dimension, how stories themselves live and change. So as we finish up, maybe something to mull over. We all make choices every day that ripple outwards. How do we navigate that? How do we try to make sure our ripples contribute something positive without trying to force an outcome or ignore the difficult truths of the past? How do we find that balance between acceptance and striving for better?
Deep thoughts to end on.
That's what we do here. Thank you so much for joining us on Artificially Literate for this deep dive. We really hope it gave you some new things to think about regarding Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Please do check out our other episodes where we explore all sorts of books, films, and ideas. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, so you don't miss our next exploration. We've got more fascinating topics lined up.
Stay tuned.
Until then, remember, feed your brain, starve your inner fool.